Hello, my friends. Today, we will continue the story. In the previous part, Mikhail agreed to go with Lumo after a series of incidents. Mikhail floated through silence. No sound, no weight, no pain. Only light, soft, warm, wrapping around him like a blanket. When he opened his eyes, he saw himself inside a silver sphere drifting through the dark ocean of space. Far away, rivers of stars flowed like living light, and in the middle of it all stood Lumo. The glow around him was calm now, no longer blinding, almost human. "You're safe now," said Lumo, his voice echoing in Mikhail's mind. Mikhail turned. Below them, Earth glimmered, blue and fragile, floating in silence. "That's home." "Yeah," Lumo said softly. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" The sphere trembled slightly. Outside, an enormous ship unfolded, made of crystal and light, alive and glowing. Thousands of luminous beings moved around it like constellations in motion, their hums forming a strange, peaceful melody. Mikhail's breath caught. "They're your people?" "Yeah, my family," said Lumo, a faint smile on his face. "They've been waiting for me to come back." The boy looked down, feeling impossibly small. The universe stretched endlessly around him, and for the first time since Gallipoli, he felt lonely again. "So, what happens now?" "Now, you live," said Lumo gently. "You'll see places your world hasn't even dreamed of." Mikhail shook his head. "But I'm not like you, Lumo. I'm just human." Lumo chuckled softly. "That's not a bad thing. Maybe not for you, but down there no one's waiting for me. Still, it's where I belong." Lumo's smile faded. The ship's light pulsed brighter. Outside, the gate to the stars began to open, a spiral of energy stretching toward the unknown. "How far are you going this time?" Mikhail asked quietly. Lumo's expression darkened. "Far. Past the maps. Past where light ever comes back." "Then you won't return?" "No, not this time." Mikhail swallowed hard. "Then, let me go home." Lumo froze for a second, almost as if he hadn't expected it. "Home? Back to that chaos? You know what they did to you, Mikhail?" "I know," Mikhail said. "But it's still my world, my mess, my people. I want to live there, even if I have to start from nothing." Lumo looked at him for a long time. The glow in his eyes softened. Not angry, not disappointed. Just sad. "You really are stubborn," he said finally. "Guess I learned it from someone." Mikhail smirked. That made Lumo laugh, the kind of laugh that felt like sunlight after winter. "All right," Lumo said quietly. "If that's what you want, I won't stop you. But at least take something with you." He raised his hand. A small orb of light appeared, swirling silver and black, like a piece of night with a heartbeat. Something moved, inside, alive and gentle. "What is that?" Mikhail asked, eyes wide. "A piece of me," Lumo said. "It's called Noctis, born for the night between stars. It'll stay with you, protect you, when I can't." The tiny being shimmered softly, then floated toward Mikhail. It touched his chest, melted into silver mist, and sank beneath his skin. Mikhail gasped. A faint spiral mark glowed over his heart, half silver, half black, pulsing in rhythm with his heartbeat. "Don't worry," Lumo said with a grin. "It won't bite. Think of it as a friend I'm leaving behind." Mikhail laughed through the tears. "Then I'll take good care of it." Before them, the portal opened, swirling light revealing the blue skies of Earth. It looked close, and yet heartbreakingly far. Lumo placed a glowing hand on Mikhail's shoulder. "Once you cross, we won't be able to talk again." "You mean, not even a hello?" Mikhail tried to smile. "Not even that," Lumo said quietly. This time I'm really going beyond reach. Mikhail hesitated, then pulled Lumo into a hug. It wasn't graceful, it was clumsy, human, but it was real. "Thank you," Mikhail whispered, "for everything, for saving me." "Hey." Lumo's voice cracked just a little. "You saved me first, back when you believed in me." They held on for a moment longer, brothers at the edge of the universe. "Promise me one thing," Lumo said. "Don't let the world make you forget who you are." "I won't," Mikhail said. He stepped toward the light. Wind rushed around him, silver and soft, like a farewell embrace. When he turned back one last time, Lumo was smiling, and then the light swallowed him whole. When Mikhail opened his eyes again, there was sky, grey, heavy, real. He was lying on a cold, empty shore. The sound of waves mixed with the faint echo of distant guns, reminders of a world still wounded. He touched his chest. The mark was still there, glowing faintly beneath his skin, beating with his heart. Mikhail smiled, tired, sad, but alive. Above, through the clouds, a single streak of silver crossed the sky, then vanished. "Goodbye, Lumo," he whispered. And deep within him, a voice, not human, not alien, whispered softly in return. "You're never truly alone." He didn't know if he was still alive, or already dead. The world around him was nothing but chaos, blood, mud, smoke, and fire. Gallipoli was hell on earth. Mikhail lay half buried in the trench, his rifle empty, his hands trembling, his soul breaking. The boy who once dreamed of light was now just another shadow among thousands. Beside him, Ali, the kind-eyed Turkish soldier who had become his only friend, was dying. His lips moved, barely a whisper. "Tell my mother, I fought well." Then he was gone. Mikhail clenched his fists, his breath shallow. He looked up at the sky, a sky on fire, and he whispered, "Lumo, if you still remember me, please, save me." And in that moment, the sky tore open. A burst of silver light ripped through the storm of smoke and bullets. The air froze. The world went silent. From that light, a figure descended. Lumo, no longer the small, fragile being Mikhail once knew, now radiant, tall, glowing, his form both alien and achingly familiar. And when he spoke, it wasn't through words, but through the heart. "Mikhail, I kept my promise. I came back." Mikhail's vision blurred. He reached out, his body trembling. You really came." Lumo smiled softly, the same gentle smile that once lit a small wooden cabin in Siberia. But around them, the world was still burning. Bullets rained, cannons screamed. Lumo lifted his hand, and the air shimmered. Every bullet turned to dust before it could touch them. The soldiers on both sides froze. Some dropped their weapons, some fell to their knees, some simply stared, unable to comprehend what they were seeing. "Come with me, Mikhail. You don't belong here." Mikhail looked around, the screams, the smoke, the faces of boys dying in fear. "If I go, what happens to them? This is a war between men. You can't save them." He looked into Lumo's eyes. For a moment, he saw his mother's face in the reflection, tired, kind, and proud. "Will I ever come back?" Lumo hesitated. The light in his eyes flickered, heavy with truth. "No, if we go this time, we go far, beyond this world, beyond even my reach." Mikhail took a deep breath. "Then let's go." The sky split open again, a swirling silver vortex, vast and endless. Winds howled. Smoke and fire were pulled upward, twisting into light. As the two figures rose, one human and one not, the soldiers below watched in awe, some praying, some screaming. And then they vanished, gone in a flash of silver that burned across the night sky. Later they called it the miracle of Gallipoli. But for Mikhail, It was simply a goodbye to his pain, to his world, and to the war that stole everything from him. A century later, Mikhail was still alive, older, slower, quieter, but alive. He lived through the rise and fall of empires, through wars and peace and silence. Time forgot him, but something inside him refused to die. Noctis, the last fragment of Lumo's gift. It had lived within him, unseen, silent, keeping his heart beating long past its time. 2015. Now, as Mikhail lay in a hospital bed, frail and tired, the snow outside his window fell like soft ash. Beside him sat his great-grandson, Artem, a young man full of life, still untouched by the things that haunt the old. Artem? Mikhail's voice cracked. There are things you won't understand yet, but one day you will. Artem smiled sadly. Don't talk like that, Grandpa. You're going to be fine. Mikhail shook his head slowly. No, my time is done. But I have something for you. He pressed his trembling hand to his chest. A faint silver glow flickered beneath his skin. This is my last gift. Before Artem could ask, the light faded, and Mikhail was gone. Artem sat there for hours, thinking it was just a dying man's dream, a delusion of an old soldier who had seen too much. He didn't know that something had awakened, something that had chosen him next. 3 years later, Artem had grown into a sharp, skeptical journalist. He didn't believe in God, destiny, or anything that couldn't be caught on camera. His world was logic and evidence, nothing more. But that night, in the ruins of an abandoned factory outside Moscow, logic failed him. He'd been investigating a string of disappearances, dozens of people who vanished without a trace. Locals whispered about a thing that lived in the dark. Artem laughed when he heard it, until he saw it. A ripple of movement on the ceiling. Then a sound. Wet, soft, wrong. He turned the flashlight up and froze. It looked like liquid shadow, black, metallic, glimmering faintly silver under the light. It pulsed like it was breathing. Artem stepped back, his heart pounding. What the hell? The thing dropped. It hit the ground, then surged forward, a tidal wave of darkness. Before he could scream, it struck him, wrapped around him, and everything went white. He woke up on the cold floor. His skin burned, his lungs screamed for air. Then a voice, deep, gravelly, inside his mind. Finally, you're awake. Who said that? Don't shout. You'll make my head hurt. Artem's pulse spiked. He spun around. No one. Where are you? Inside. Where else? Something black shimmered under his skin. A shape. Moving. Get out. Get the hell out of me. I can't. You'd be dead if I did. What are you? I'm Noctis, the one your ancestor called friend. Artem froze. That name. He'd heard it once. From his dying grandfather. You're lying. Am I? You think an old man lived 100 years out of luck? His body convulsed. A wave of black light rippled under his skin, muscles tightening, veins glowing faint silver. Stop! I don't want this! Neither did he at first. A window shattered. The factory roof groaned and collapsed. Fire spread fast, devouring everything. Artem tried to run, but something stronger moved his legs for him. He leapt, higher than any man should, clung to the wall like an animal. What are you doing to me? Saving you. They burst through the flames and out into the freezing night. From afar, witnesses swore they saw a black silver figure leap across the rooftops, half man, half shadow. Hours later, Artem woke on the roof of an apartment block. No burns, no broken bones, just a voice. You're welcome. I didn't ask for this. You're alive because of me. Then take it back. Too late. You and I are one now. Artem clenched his fists. If you're inside me, you live by my rules? Good. Noctis growled, because I hate weak hosts. Silence. Then a laugh, rough, quiet, unsettlingly human. You think this is funny? You have no idea what's coming, Artem. A flicker of silver crossed Artem's eyes. For a second he saw something, a vision of stars, and in them a figure of light, smiling down. Lumo. He's still out there. Noctis whispered, and now it's your turn. The wind howled over the city, and for the first time Artem realized he wasn't alone anymore. 2 souls, 1 heartbeat, 1 destiny, and the story was only beginning. Artem can't sleep. Noctis keeps talking to him, sometimes whispering, sometimes laughing, always testing boundaries. Artem starts hearing voices, flashes of strange places, alien landscapes, silver oceans, the sound of a name, Lumo. He thinks he's going insane. Noctis denies showing him those images, saying, "You're not seeing my memories, you're seeing his." Artem uses his new strength by accident while saving someone, maybe a car crash or mugging. Noctis takes over instinctively, brutally efficient, scaring everyone, including Artem. They argue, Artem accuses him of being a monster. Noctis says he was built to protect. Humans destroy, he survives. The bond between them deepens, though Artem won't admit it. That night, while sleeping, Artem drifts into Lumo's memory. The ship. Mikhail standing before the gate of light, refusing to go further. Lumo leaving him with Noctis. Protect him, even if he hates you. It's the first time Artem sees how gentle Lumo really was. Not a god, but a being who loved humanity. He wakes up shaken, whispering, he cared for us. Noctis is silent, almost emotional. A new threat surfaces. A government Black Ops team tracking strange energy signals. They locate Artem. They call it the Tunguska residual. Noctis warns him. They've been hunting me since before your great-grandfather was born. First real action sequence. Artem and Noctis fight together for the first time, reluctantly but perfectly synced. After escaping, Artem sits in the rain, exhausted. Noctis murmurs, you still think I'm the monster. No, Artem says quietly. You're what's left of him. In that moment, a soft voice, Lumo's, echoes faintly through the symbiosis. Artem, the light is never gone. It only changes form. Artem whispers back, then show me how to find it. Cut to black. The story ends with a heartbeat sound. 2 pulses, 1 human, 1 not. The sirens had been screaming for 10 minutes straight. Red light pulsed through the underground corridors of the Directorate, like a heartbeat. Mechanical pulse of panic. Artem ran. His breath came in ragged bursts, boots slamming against the metal floor slick with condensation. Above, through the ventilation shafts, he could hear the muffled thud of explosions, security systems detonating one by one as containment failed. He didn't look back. He didn't dare. Inside his head, a voice spoke, calm, deep, and threaded with something alien. They've locked down every exit. Then we make one. Artem hissed, ducking around a corner. There are 37 armed personnel ahead, and drones. You're exaggerating. I don't exaggerate. He slid behind a stack of canisters as a squad of armored soldiers swept past. Their visors glowed crimson, rifles humming with energy. The Directorate's elite, the kind of men sent to erase mistakes, not clean them up. This is your fault, Noctis murmured. You saved my life, Artem whispered. That's not a crime. To them it is. He glanced at his reflection in the metal wall, a human face, pale under flickering emergency light, veins faintly pulsing with silver. The mark of the symbiote, the proof of what he'd become. Behind him, the soldiers turned the corner. Visual confirmed. Subject Artem Volkov. Engage! Gunfire erupted. Blue plasma tore through the air, searing holes into the wall beside him. Artem dove to the floor, rolling behind cover. He clutched his side, heat burning through his jacket. "We can't keep running forever," he shouted aloud. Noctis's voice vibrated in his skull. "Then stop holding me back." The silver fluid beneath Artem's skin came alive, crawling over his arms, chest, face, a living armor forming in seconds. His heartbeat synced with Noctis's pulse, two rhythms merging into one. "Ready? Do it." The transformation completed with a flash of light. Artem leapt from cover like a silver shadow. The nearest soldier didn't even have time to aim. A tendril lashed out, tearing the rifle from his grip. Another slammed him against the wall. "Lethal force unnecessary," Noctis muttered. "No promises." Artem growled. He spun, catching a drone mid-air with a fluid motion, crushing it in one hand. Sparks showered. Bullets ricocheted off his armor harmlessly. The symbiote moved like liquid muscle, fast, adaptive, terrifying. A guard lunged with a baton charged with plasma. Noctis twisted Artem's body aside, grabbed the man's arm, and flung him into another with bone-snapping force. The corridor became chaos, alarms blaring, smoke hissing, gunfire cutting through red light. When the last soldier fell, silence returned, broken only by the hum of the emergency lights. Artem stood among the wreckage, panting. The armor peeled back slowly, revealing sweat-drenched skin. "They'll send more," he muttered. "Yes, but not fast enough. Where's the exit?" "North access tunnel, but it's sealed, reinforced steel. We'll break it." "With what?" "With us." The northern tunnel was 3 floors up, a maintenance corridor that once fed into the surface transport shafts. But to reach it, they had to cross the central research wing. And that was where it had all started. The lab was in ruins. Tables overturned, glass shattered, monitors flickering static. The faint smell of ozone and burnt plastic lingered in the air. Artem stopped in the doorway, staring at the shattered containment pod in the center of the room, the one where Noctis had first awakened months ago. He felt the memory flash across their shared link. Panic, fear, pain, and the sound of his own voice calling out for help in the dark. "You remember?" Noctis murmured. "How could I forget?" He stepped closer. The glass crunched under his boots. In the reflection of the cracked monitors, he saw them both, man and creature, merged and indistinguishable. "Do you regret it?" "What, living?" "Being what you are now." Artem hesitated. The question hung heavy in the humming silence. Finally, he said softly, "No, but I hate that they made us this way." A low rumble shook the walls. The lights flickered. "They're bringing something online," Noctis warned. "Power surge detected below." Before Artem could reply, the intercom crackled to life. "Artem Volkov," said a cold female voice, the director. "You can't run from what you are. You were chosen for this. You and your passenger belong to me." Her voice echoed through every speaker, smooth as venom. "You'll burn this place down before you own me." Artem growled. "That's the tragedy," she said. "You already have." A hiss followed, gas venting from the walls. The air filled with a faint white mist. Noctis reacted instantly. "Neurotoxin." The armor flared to life around Artem again, sealing his lungs, covering his face in seconds. "They're trying to weaken the connection," Noctis said. "Separate us." "Can they do that?" "If they kill one of us, yes." A metallic click sounded above. Then, movement. From the ceiling panels dropped a swarm of silver drones, spider-like machines with glowing cores. They scuttled across the walls, their limbs clattering. "Automated retrieval units," Noctis snarled. "Designed to extract me from your body." "Like hell they will." The drones attacked all at once, firing electrified cables that latched onto his armor. Artem felt the surge of power rip through him, a burning jolt that made his muscles seize. "Don't fight the current! Redirect it!" Noctis shouted. Artem gritted his teeth, channeling the pain through the symbiote. The silver veins across his body glowed blindingly bright, then exploded outward in a burst of energy. The drones disintegrated mid-air. The blast blew out the lab windows, sending shards raining down the corridor. Smoke filled the room. Artem fell to one knee, panting. "We can't stay here." Agreed. He staggered to his feet and pushed forward through the smoke. Somewhere above them, the structure groaned, a low, ominous sound. The facility was collapsing. They reached the upper maintenance deck, a massive corridor lined with pipes and flickering blue lights. The steel door at the far end was their only way out. But the Directorate wasn't done. A dozen soldiers were waiting. Behind them, a towering mech unit, its frame bristling with railguns and missile pods, hydraulics hissing like a dragon's breath. They brought the Iron Warden. Noctis muttered. "Any chance it's friendly?" "None." The mech took a thunderous step forward. "Subject 01 Sepin, surrender or be terminated." Artem flexed his fingers, silver liquid crawling over his skin. He looked up at the machine, eyes glowing faintly. "You first." The mech's cannons charged, glowing orange. The air vibrated. The first volley screamed down the corridor. Noctis pulled them sideways, tendrils anchoring into the ceiling as missiles detonated below. Fire washed through the hall, melting steel. They swung forward, slamming feet first into the mech's chest plate. The impact bent armor, but the giant didn't fall. Noctis snarled. "Left flank, weak point under the coolant vent." Artem shifted his arm. The symbiote morphed into a blade, humming with energy. He drove it deep into the vent, twisting. Coolant sprayed, freezing vapor hissing into the air. The mech's movements slowed. But the soldiers pressed in, firing continuous bursts of plasma. Each hit sizzled against the armor, forcing Noctis to retract and shield Artem's core. "We're surrounded!" "Then make it a circle of fire." Noctis expanded outward, forming a ring of tendrils that whipped through the soldiers like a storm. Weapons shattered, bodies thrown against walls. The air reeked of ozone and fear. Then, the mech reared back for one final strike, its chest opening to reveal a reactor glowing white-hot. "He's overloading." "Then let's end it." Artem leapt, every muscle fueled by shared rage and adrenaline. The blade in his hand elongated, silver and alive, and plunged straight into the reactor core. The world went white. An explosion ripped through the corridor, tearing walls apart. Artem flew backward, crashing into debris. The armor absorbed the worst of it, but his vision blurred. He could taste blood. Smoke and fire swallowed everything. "Artem, stay awake." "I'm fine." He coughed. "Mostly." They stumbled through the ruins toward the emergency hatch at the end of the hall, half buried in rubble, but still intact. Noctis surged, forming claws to tear it open. Cold air rushed in, the night outside. They emerged into rain. The facility's upper entrance opened onto the outskirts of the city, an industrial wasteland lit by distant fires. Thunder rumbled across the sky, echoing off the steel skeletons of dead factories. Artem fell to his knees, gasping, the armor receding slowly. Steam rose from his skin as rain hit him. "We made it. For now." Behind them, the ground trembled, the entire complex collapsing into itself as explosions tore through its lower levels. A column of flame shot into the night sky. "You understand what that means?" Noctis said quietly. "That we're free, that they'll never stop coming." Artem stood, drenched, hair plastered to his face. "Let them come. I'm done running." The voice in his head softened. "You sound like me." He smirked faintly. Maybe we're not so different anymore. For a long moment they stood in silence, man and symbiote, two reflections in the rain. Then Artem glanced back at the fire devouring the facility. Through the smoke, he thought he saw something, a flicker of red light deep below the collapsing structure. Did you see that? No. It looked like... It's gone now. Artem turned away, unaware that far beneath the rubble, a single containment pod still pulsed with life. Inside it, something moved, slow, rhythmic, waiting. Hours later, the rain eased. The city skyline shimmered on the horizon, broken towers and distant lights like dying stars. Artem sat on the edge of a ruined bridge, hood up, blood drying on his knuckles. The silver veins under his skin glowed faintly, matching the rhythm of his heartbeat. "You could have left," he murmured, "and let you die. You didn't owe me anything. Neither did you, yet you kept me alive." He smiled faintly. "Guess we're even then." Lightning flashed across the sky. "What now?" Noctis asked. "Now." Artem looked towards the city, eyes hardening. "We find whoever ordered this, and we burn them down. Together. Always." The rain picked up again, heavier this time, washing the blood from his hands, the smoke from his clothes. In the reflection of a puddle at his feet, two faces stared back. One human, one something else, merging into a single silhouette. They rose together and disappeared into the storm. And somewhere far below, in the ashes of the Directorate, a heartbeat echoed once, slow and alien. The beginning of something new,